What's up? My name is John, and this is Cinema Saturday. Today, I have a review for The Bikeriders, starring Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, and Tom Hardy. This movie follows, like the namesake, some bike riders who we just go through time with them. We go through a story with them. You know, there isn't like some main antagonist. There isn't there is some bad people, but there isn't like a one solitary villain of the whole movie. The movie is more so just following these bike riders and see what happens with them. And I would say from the very beginning, hijinks ensue. Now, this movie opens up and it tells us that this movie is based on probably a book. I came in a little late, so I didn't get to read all of them. I'm so sorry. Uh, but it's probably based on a book. And the book was written by a guy who is also in the movie, who took a bunch of recordings from our main character. I would say main character. I think she has top bill. Jodie Comer. Her character name is Kathy, and she is married to one of the bike riders, and so she has very good insight onto what happens with them because she's always with her husband Austin Butler through all of it, thick and thin, and so she knows all about the bike riders, and she tells the interview dude exactly what's going on, what happened. It really does chronicle the story from the inception of the bike riders to the ending of the bike riders. Well, they have a name in the movie. They're called the Vandals. And this is based on a true story. So that's where the interview and book all comes in. And at the end of the movie, they reveal some pictures of what some of the characters we were watching in the movie actually look like. The very first scene is like a bar fight from Austin Butler because he refused to take off his colors, you know, his biker jacket in the bar that he's at because the local town folk don't necessarily like the Vandals at that point in time when he goes into the bar. So it starts off with some action straight away. But I wouldn't say this movie is action oriented. I would say this is a character driven movie that's here just to tell a story. I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to. It took me a while to get myself to go see it, but after about 10 minutes of watching the movie, I was enthralled. I love the concept of the bike riders, at least at the beginning, because the inception of it was a bunch of guys who had nowhere to go, and so they could go somewhere and belong somewhere together. And I thought that was really nice. Is that how the Vandals started out their club? The movie takes place in the 1970s, so it is a period piece, which is also something to just love. You know, the cinematography is good, the costuming is good, the set pieces are good. I love looking at all the vintage cars that I wish I had, that I know somebody's grandpa owns right now, or somebody's working on it in their shop right now. You know, I would love a 1950 Mercury or Chevy. Really, I just want any of the old cars. Hey, I'll even take a Thunderbird. I don't care. I love it. I love that period of time. So that was very good. I think it has high production values. Like I was saying, the characters are good. The acting in this movie is phenomenal. It is really good. Jodie Comer, for me, is a standout. She tells most of the story, but she's also in the story as she's kind of telling it, and her acting is great. I think Tom Hardy acting is good as well. He does a little thing with his voice. You know, it's kind of a way of Tom Hardy that I personally haven't seen before. So I was glad that, you know, to see that he has some range. Austin Butler was good too. But I think Austin Butler's acting was very subtle, even though he had a very defined character, and his character wasn't, very loud and someone that would get up in your face and talk about you. No, he was a quiet person, and if he was gonna beat you down, he was just gonna do it. He wasn't gonna talk about it. So I think his acting was good, but I can't say that he did anything outstanding that any other actor could have done. Now, because this movie is character driven, there are just random things that happen in the plot that drives the story forward. We're mostly just going through time, so things just kind of happen as we go along. I thought the pacing was good enough to keep you entertained. I never got bored. I never got bored at all. Especially once, like I said, once the movie really started, I was into it. I was just happy to be hanging out with the boys. The movie made me feel like I was a part of Vandals and that I could be one of those bike riders too, because we're all just hanging out because we don't have anywhere else to go, so we can go there together. We can be together, and it was fantastic. I really enjoy just hanging out with the guys. There are some smaller characters with some crazy nicknames. I think one of the smaller characters that stand out to me is one named Cockroach. I feel like I don't want to spoil why they call him Cockroach, because that was a funny little joke in the movie that I think you should experience. So Cockroach was one of my favorites. This is more of a drama, a little bit of a thriller, but mostly some drama. If I had to say, this movie reminds me a lot of Jersey Boys. Funny enough, maybe because it's a period piece, or because they were also in the Northeast, so they all had kind of similar accents. But for me, this reminded me of Jersey Boys, the recent movie that came out, and how that plot went along and what happened there. But I would not say the context or what happens in the story or even the tone is similar to Jersey Boys. It's just the closest thing that I could relate it to. But should you see this movie? I think you should. I think it's worth a watch. Do you need to see it in a theater? I think it would be best to see it in the theater if maybe you are a bike rider and you have some friends that are also bike riders. I do think this would be a good kind of event for you guys to go and hang out and see this movie. I think it is funny enough, thrilling enough, it has enough going on for you all to talk about things that happen and not get bored with it and not feel like you wasted your money seeing a movie in the theaters. Now, for normal people, I had a good experience in the theater because I just like going to the theater. It's easier for me to lock in on a movie when I'm in a movie theater. But truth be told, if you're not someone that's super excited for this movie but think you may check it out at some point, then I think watching it on a streaming service would be good for you. Those are my thoughts on the Bikeriders. My name is John. This is Cinema Saturday. And of course, have a good one.